Creatives, you are welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the Creators Lodge, and if this is your first time coming across my YouTube channel, please do well to like, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification button so that when next I post a tutorial video like this, YouTube will notify you. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how I created this amazing piece in Pixellab application in few minutes. Alright, so without any further ado, let's get into the tutorial. So the first thing I'm going to do as usual is to size my design. So I'm going to click on image size and I'm going to change my image size to 3000. This is the usual size I make use of whenever I want to do a birthday flyer. So this is 3000 by 3005. So I'm going to click OK. And the next thing I'm going to do is to impute my original design from my gallery. Alright guys, so this is my original design. I'm just going to increase the size. And before we continue guys, the end product of this tutorial is not going to be exactly like this image you are seeing right now. And the reason is because the effect you are seeing on this design, I made this effect not in the Pixellab application. If you want to know how I came about this effect, how I made this effect on this design, in this video description, you are going to see a link to access the course. Is my course on smartphone photo editing. All right, I spoke about this course in my last tutorial. If you want your design to stand out, if you want it to be excellent, you want to add juice to your design, all right, I would recommend this course to you. Okay, so I'm just going to lock this layer, and the next thing is I'm going to be imputing my image from my gallery. Okay guys, so this is the image. Now this is not, I'm not going to be dropping the images, all right, I'm just going to be dropping the resource file for the backgrounds and the fonts I used. Now another thing I want to say in this tutorial, as I usually say in my other tutorials, is that now the reason why I'm dropping the backgrounds for you guys is so that you can see that you can actually replicate what I'm doing. But I always advise you, don't do exactly what I am doing. All right, just do it, master it, practice, see it that you can actually do it yourself. But don't go about replicating designs of other designers. All right, don't go about replicating designs of other designers. If you are just starting, it's fine, you can do that, but be careful of the designers you replicate their designs. You can replicate my design that I have revealed in these tutorials, but outside these tutorials, going on to any other designer or any of my designs outside these tutorials, please guys, don't replicate. All right, don't replicate. All right, so if you're a beginner, you can replicate, but as time goes on, you need to start doing something different. It won't help you if you are always replicating designs of other designers. You are not helping yourself, you're not doing yourself any good, and if you are caught, it could lead to a serious issue. Okay, so I'm just going to mark this image. Now this image, this is not the way this image came. This is not the way I received this image. Now if you notice at the bottom of this image, I have, you know, erased some parts of this image, and I achieved that in PicsArt application. You can watch my other tutorials to see how I achieve you know, blending my image to my background in PicsArt application. So the first thing is to take this image to PicsArt, and after taking it to PicsArt, using the cutout tool in PicsArt, using the cutout tool, I was able to blend the, you know, the bottom part of this background so it could fit in on my design. So I'm just going to mark this and I'm just going to position it this way. All right, remember our original design is here. Okay, so I'm trying to use it as a guide, as I always do. Okay, so I'm just going to lock this layer. So I'm going to make our original layer invisible. Now let me just okay, I'm just going to place it here. So let me see how I achieve this. I want to see something. All right, okay, so I'm just going to take this behind. Okay, so I'm just going to centralize this image right now. I'm going to centralize it right about now. Yeah, so I'm going to centralize it, leave it this way, and I'm just going to lock the layers I've done. Now the next thing I want to do is to bring in the second image from my gallery. All right, so this is the second image. You can see I've removed the background in photo room, so I'm just going to erase the photo room logo on this image. All right, So because I don't need the photo room logo, I'm going to erase this logo, and I'm going to bring the photo here. I'm going to make my original visible so that I can see, all right, the angle of positioning exactly. So I'm going to position it here. So I'm not going to make the original design available actually. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to make it available. I want you guys to create. Okay, so I'm just going to lock this layer. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is to impute the background. Now if you noticed on our design, there's a background that looks like it has kind of leaf on it. So I'm going to import this background now. Alright guys, so this is the first background. I'm just going to mark this. I'm going to increase the size of this background to the highest, and I'm going to mark this. I'm going to take it to back. Alright, I'm going to take it to back. Yeah, to back here like this. Okay, so I'm going to lock this layer and make this one visible again. I want to see what next. Okay, so the next thing is there's a background again here. I just reduced the opacity of that background, so I'm going to be bringing in that background again. Okay, all right, so this is the second background. I'm going to mark this and I'm just going to increase the size to the highest. I'm going to increase to the highest size. I'm going to centralize, and then I'm going to take it to back. All right, I'm going to take it behind this first background we brought. Okay, and I'm going to reduce the opacity. All right, I'm just going to reduce the opacity this way. Okay, now let's do something. I think this is the first background and this is the second one. All right, so the one with the flower should be, yeah, the one with the flower should be above, you know, this second background we brought. Okay, so the first background is this and this is the second background. So we have our backgrounds here and we have our images here. Now the next thing I want to do is to bring in the stars that I made use of and the ribbon. All right, so I'm going to just bring in that right now. Alright guys, so this is the cotton I used, the silk or cotton as you would want to call it. So I'm going to check my original and see, you know, my angle of positioning. Okay, I'm just going to increase the size this way, and I want to check angle of positioning. I'm going to rotate a little bit again, and I'll just position it this way. Yes, like this. So my angle of rotation is, I'm going to check -31. That's my angle of rotation. All right, and my relative size is 3998. Okay, so I'm just going to lock this layer. All right, I'm going to lock this layer and I'm going to bring up the original design so I can see what next to do. Yeah, so the next thing I'm going to do now, you can see on this image, you're going to see that there is no flower like all those that flower I fixed on this original image that makes it look like a crown. So there's an idea behind this design. That is why I always say that the elements you use on your design, they are telling a story. So you don't just use elements unnecessarily. All right, now the name of this lady is called Esther. All right, and if you are a Christian, you know that the Esther in the Bible that we are so used to is, you know, a queen. All right, so and then I thought about it. I need to spice my design. I need something to make it more effective, you know, instead of just putting the image of this lady alone. Yeah, if I put the image of this lady alone on this design, it's okay, it's cool. All right, but as a designer, you need to always think ahead. You need to think that, okay, what will make your design stand out? All right, if I am in competition with another designer and they gave us this same image and they said do a design, all right, do a birthday flyer design, and this same name they gave us, Esther, and they gave us the same pictures. So what should make your own design stand out from the other designer that you're competing with? That's what you need to think as a designer. All right, you need to go beyond the norm. So I felt, okay, as her name is Esther, so what can I do? All right, as you know, in the scripture or in the Bible, all right, we know of Queen Esther, so I need to do something that will depict, you know, this queenship. All right, sorry for using that word. Okay, so I need to do something that will make her look like a queen, and then I felt, okay, I need to put a flower on her head that will look like, you know, this crown of a queen. All right, and that's the reason why I brought this. Okay, so I'm just going to be imputing this flower crown right now. Now most of the images I used here, this silk, you can get it in pngwink.com. all right, so I get most of my png files from pngwink. Just go on Google, search pngwink. It's going to bring a site where you can download images that has transparent backgrounds. All right, a lot of amazing images. So do well to use that website if you have not started using the website. So I'm just going to bring in the flower right now. Alright guys, so this is the first flower. I'm just going to mark this. Now if you noticed, I make this flower cool. Okay, now if you look at our original design, you are going to see, let me make this flower invisible. You are going to see that this background, all right, this flower background, you're going to see that it's having the same color with the crown. All right, so I have not achieved that yet. So let me click on the background and let me make the flower invisible. So I'm going to make use of this color of the flower. I'm going to make our background color that same color. So you go to your color filter. Remember, you are still on the layer of this background. Okay, so you go to your color filter and you play with your hue. All right, keep on looking at the color as it's changing, and also look at the color of the flower. All right, so you keep on playing with your hue until you get the color of the flower. So I think this is the color of the flower for me, minus 65. Yeah, okay, so I think I'm going to make use of minus 48. So I'm going to mark this. All right, minus 48. Okay, I'm going to mark this. Now I'm going to reduce the size of this crown. I'm going to click on my plus zoom at the top. Look at the top of your Pixellab. You click on plus zoom. So once you click on it, you can zoom in your screen. All right, you hold your screen with your two hands and then you zoom in. All right, you zoom in. So the reason why I'm zooming in, once you are done zooming in, make sure you click on this plus sign again. Not inside of this box you are seeing 196. If you click inside of this box, everything will go back to normal. So once you click plus this zoom in with your two hands, and then you click on this plus sign. So once you click on the plus sign, you can be able to edit whatever. So I want to just reduce the size so that it can look realistic. All right, it can look realistic, and I'm going to just rotate it a bit, just a little, not too much. All right, I'm going to click on my rotation. I'm going to make use of, I think, 2. Yes, so I'm just going to make use of rotation angle 2. All right, so yeah, something like this. So I'm just going to leave it like this, and once I'm done, I'm going to click on my zoom icon again and then click inside where you see this 226. So once you click inside, it's going to come back to normal. Yeah, so you see we have our crown here on our head. Yeah, amazing. So you see we have our crown here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the flower. Now if you look at the crown and you look at the background, you're going to see that it's something similar. If you notice that I'm making use of two dominant colors here, blue and pink. All right, blue and is this pink now? There is a color, yeah, I'm not really familiar with this color, but it's looking like pink. Yeah, but there's another name that is usually called, forgotten the name right now. You know, when I do designs for some ladies, they say use this particular color, and I'm like, I've not heard this color before. This color sounds so strange. All right, so I think it's peach now. I've forgotten the color, but then let's just take it as pink. All right, so I'm just going to lock this layer and I'm going to bring in the next flower for this second image. Alright guys, so this is the second flower. I'm just going to mark this. Now if you notice, you will see that the flowers I'm using, they have consistent color. I didn't bring in this pink color and then go back to bring another red flower. You can see that the color is consistent, and you can see that the color matches with the clothes she's putting on. You can see that the color matches with the clothes. So I always say this as one principle of design: don't use contrasting colors. All right, if you are making use of, for instance, a color that is color yellow, you need to know that color yellow will always fight with white background. So when you want to use color yellow, probably you are using flower that is yellow color, or no, not even flower now, probably you are using a text and you colored the text yellow. You need to make sure that that text is not on a white background, because it's going to fight each other. It's going to be on the contrast is not going to work really well. All right, so you need to be careful about that. So yeah, so we have our flower here on our head. So I'm just going to check on our hair rather. Yeah, so let's leave it this way. So we have been able to achieve these things now. So the next thing we want to do is to bring in, you know, the star icon. All right, so this is the star icon. If you are familiar with my tutorials, you should be familiar with this icon. So I'm going to mark this, and I'm going to go to my eraser tool. I'm going to zoom in. Now the reason I'm zooming in is because I'm going to increase my brush, increase my flow. All right, always increase your flow so that you don't have sharp brushing. So I'm going to brush out I'm going to erase just this inner side of this this star shape. All right, I'm going to erase the inner. I don't want this inner part to be visible. Okay, so and be careful while erasing the inner part of this star so you don't end up erasing the outer layer also. So I'm just going to be careful. At any point in time you see that you are erasing the outer layer, reduce your brush. So I think I'm done. I'm just going to mark this. Let me make the original visible so that I can see how to position. Okay, so I'm just going to position this way. I'm going to rotate a bit. I'm going to position this way. Okay, yeah, I'm going to position this way. So I'm going to increase a little more. I'm going to position this way like this. Yeah, and then I'm going to click on my color filter and I'm going to work on my hue. I want it to have that blue feel. All right, that blue feel. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to make this layer invisible. We've achieved this. I'm going to copy again. All right, I'm going to also make this visible again so that I can see where to position this second copy. Yeah, somewhere here. So I'm going to make this invisible. Yes, something like this. So we have been able to achieve the stars. All right, now the next thing I'm going to click on is font. I want to write the name Happy Birthday. I'm going to first write Happy Birthday. All right, so yeah, and I made it all capital letter. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to reduce this size, go to my color, click color, make sure you use a black color. I don't want to use too much color on this design. That's the reason why I'm making use of black. Let me check the original. I think I did spacing. So I'm going to do a little bit of spacing. Okay, so I'm going to go to my spacing, click on spacing, increase the space of the Happy Birthday a little bit, probably 16 is enough, or 21. Okay, so I'm going to reduce the size, but let me first choose the font. The font I'm going to use is Montserrat Medium. All right, Montserrat Medium. So I'm going to click OK. All right, I'm just going to centralize this, click on relative position, click on the center, reduce the size again. You can see the text is virtually up on this it's upon the lady's head. So I'm going to centralize this. Now I'm going to increase my spacing again. It's too small. Yeah, I'm going to increase my spacing to something like this. Now the text is too close to the lady's head, so I'm going to bring this lady's image down a little. Yeah, I'm just going to bring it down a little, and I'm going to bring the flower down a little also. Yeah, something like this. So I'm going to bring the text down again a little. Yeah, so I'm going to increase the size a little bit. Yeah, this is okay. So your text shouldn't be too close to the head of the lady, and it shouldn't be too close to the top of your canvas, which is your design space. All right, so we have something like this in between the lady's head and the top of my design space. All right, so the next thing is I'm going to click on text again and I'm going to write Esther. All right, Esther. Okay, all capital letter, and I'm just going to increase this size this way. Now let me check the font I used for Esther. All right, so I'm going to bring the original up. I'm going to change this color. Now I made use of a gradient color for this Esther. Okay, I made use of a gradient color. I'm going to click my color, click on gradients. All right, so okay, the gradient color is no more here. So I picked a gradient color. How did I make use of my gradient color? And what I did was to pick the color on the shirt of this lady, on the clothes she's putting on. All right, so you click on gradient, click on color. All right, and I made use of this gradient style. Okay, so I'm going to click on the first one, click on the bucket tool, click on the color picker. All right, click on a shirt. I'm going to pick first something kind of a little bit dark like this on a shirt. I'm going to mark this, click OK, and I'm going to click on the second one, click on the color picker, and click on a shirt, and I'll click on the light blue on the shirt. All right, so I'm going to click on the light blue. Yeah, I think this is it. Okay, so I'm going to click OK and mark this. So can you now see that the color of the Esther is in line with the color on her shirt and everything is working together? All right, so I'm just going to change the font. I need to get the font I used. I think this font should be um, I'm going to just try and check out the font I used for this design. No, um, just a minute. I have so much fonts here that sometimes I even forget, which font I use. All right, so the font I used is against regular. All right, against regular. So I'm going to make this layer invisible. I'm going to reduce this size this way. Yeah, this way. So let's see the original design and see. I'm going to bring it up here. I'm going to see the original design. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to make this invisible, and I'm going to reduce this size this way. All right, so let it be a star like this. I'm going to centralize this. All right, so I'm still going to reduce this image. All right, so when you are working and you see that some images are too big, you still need to reduce. For me, I'm still going to reduce this image. All right, I'm going to move it this way again. I'm going to move it out. Yeah, something like this. I'm going to move it out, but it shouldn't be too close to the edge of your design. All right, and it means that I'm also going to move the flower, the little flower on our head, because I've moved the image now. So I'm going to move the flower this way. Yes, so I have it this way. And then remember, this is against regular used for the font. So I'm also going to click on stroke. I'm going to enable stroke, click on gradient, and click on the same gradient we used. But by this time now, I'm going to just make use of stroke 1. Don't let your stroke be more than 1 or 2. I'm going to make use of 1. All right, so I'm just going to make use of this stroke. I'm going to align it this way. Yeah, and I have my S star. So let's check the original design. This is the original design. We have S style, and this is the replicate. So I'm going to increase the size of this S style. All right, something like this. I'm going to increase the size of this S star. Yeah, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just write the 0204 and then the creator's lodge. So I'm going to copy this same font, this against regular font. I'm going to just write 02 space dot space and 04. I'm going to click OK. So now you can see we have the date. I'm just going to reduce. Now you see, one thing you need to understand again as a designer is that, like I've said previously, know how to spice your design. All right, it's not every time you just go and write April 2nd, and then you write 2024. No. You see, sometimes you need to put the geos in your design. That's what makes your design stand out as a designer. To be creative, do what others are not doing, or do what people are not expecting. People should look at your design and not be expecting it. Like, I didn't expect you should do this. Like, I wasn't expecting it. Wow, this is keeping me in awe. Something like that. Okay, so I can actually say I'll write the date as April 2nd, 2024. But to do something that will stand out, I decided to just make use of 0204. All right. 0204. So I'm just going to reduce this size this way and just change the color to black color, because you don't want to have so much gradient on your design. So I'm just going to change the color to a black color. Yeah, and I'm just going to reduce the size again, and I'm going to make sure it's centralized this way. Yeah, so you see we have 0204. So let's check the original. Yeah, and let's check what we are doing now. Okay, so 0204. The next thing, I'm going to copy this again, and I'm going to click on this, and I'm just going to write creator's lodge. So that's my signet. All right, so that's my brand, creator's lodge. Okay, so anywhere you see creator's lodge, just know that that's my brand. So I'm just going to click on fonts, and I'm just going to click on my brand fonts, which is photography signature. Now guys, don't do this. All right, don't do this. Okay, now this color is not looking like a black color, so I'm just going to pick it manually. Okay, the reason is because remember we added stroke, gradient stroke. So I'm going to make this stroke invisible. Yes, now this is black, and I'm also going to do the same for this 0204. I'm going to make the stroke disabled. Yeah, so we have this now. So this is my creator's lodge, and it's just going to be here. So now you can see I was able to achieve this design not up to even 30 minutes. All right, so this is the way you achieve this design and this amazing design. So you can decide to stop here, and say that let's check our original design. Okay, so this is the original design. This is the way it looks. All right, this is the way it looks. Okay, so there's something I need to add on this design that is not yet here. I'm going to do that now. Now, if you noticed on our clothes, you are going to see now, aside our name being Esther, our name is also called Dami, all right, which is Dami. All right, so and if you noticed on this design, I did something like Dami towards the hand of, you know, the hand region, and towards a feet region I did something like Dami, but in a stylish way. So how did I achieve that? So I'm just going to click copy this Creator's Lodge font. I'm going to click copy, all right, this photo signature font, and I'm going to write Dami, all right, Dami. So that's the font I used to achieve that, Dami. Okay, so let's make the original visible. I'm going to increase it this way, I'm going to rotate this way, all right, and I'm just going to bring it here. All right, so this is the way I wrote the Dami at first. Yes, exactly like this. All right, so this is the way I wrote the Dami, but then I'm going to bring the rotation here at the middle. I'm going to make it invisible. So now when you want to do yours, first make it invisible, all right, and then save this project that you have done. All right, save this project, save it as project, save it in your gallery. Probably I'm going to save as Dami and click OK. Make sure it's saved in your gallery, all right, as project, so that if you want to make corrections, you can always go back. Now remember, I'm just showing you guys what to do it. I'm not saying you should go and replicate this exact design, all right. I'm just giving you guys idea of one way you can design your birthday flyer. So after saving this as project, I'm going to save as image, all right. I'm going to save as ultra, and I'm going to save to gallery, meaning that now I have saved as project, meaning I can always come back to this design, and again I have saved it as image, meaning that the design is now saved as image in my gallery. Now the next thing I'm going to do after doing this is I'm going to delete everything on this design. I'm just going to delete everything on this design, everything. Remember, I've saved it, so I don't need to be scared. I'm going to delete everything on this design, and I'm just going to make only the Dami visible. All right, and I'm going to change to transparent. So now you can see we have Dami here on a transparent background. Let me check. I think this Dami is having a shadow. Let me see. Okay, it's not having. So this is only Dami. This is what we have here, and we have it on transparent background. So I'm going to save this as image, but now look at your format. It's going to save as PNG, not JPEG. It's saving as PNG, and I'm going to save as Ultra. I'm going to save. All right, so once you are done saving, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into the PicsArt application. All right, now what we want to do is that Dami effect you see on the original design, we can't achieve it in Pixellab. So the only place we can achieve it is PicsArt application and any other application that supports effects. All right, so let's get to the PicsArt application. Alright guys, so this is the PicsArt application. Okay, so this is the PicsArt application. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on add image. I'm going to click add image, and I'm going to bring in the Dami. Alright guys, so this is the Dami. Now you can see it in our PicsArt application as a transparent image because we saved as PNG and we removed all the backgrounds. So I'm going to bring the Dami here this way, and I'm going to click on color. I'm going to click on blend, and I'm going to click you're going to keep on clicking until you get the best click. Now you can see I'm going to click on overlay. Now immediately I click on overlay, can you see that Dami effect now is on my design? Immediately I click on overlay, but don't let the Dami be too big. All right, just make it somewhere here. All right, so once you click on overlay, if the effect is too much, I'm going to click opacity and reduce the opacity. Now can you see that the Dami is there now, but it's in a reduced format? So I'm going to click copy again, click on duplicate, and bring this other copy towards this place so that it can be right here like this. All right, so you can decide to position it anywhere you want. All right, so this is the effect. So now you can see we have Dami on, you know, our hand side, and we also have Dami here also. So this is how I was able to achieve that blend. You go to blend, then you click on overlay. All right, not screen. All right, this time around not screen. Once you click on screen, you are not going to see the Dami, all right, because this is a white background. So you have to click overlay, meaning that I want this Dami to overlap or to stay on the design. So it's going to give you that amazing feel and effect on your design. All right guys, so this is how I was able to achieve this design in Pixellab application, and also adding a little touch in PicsArt application. But when you look at this design, you're going to see that it's not as sharp as the original. That's the one I created. Now I'm going to show you guys the one I created. Alright guys, so this is the design I created. Now you can see that this design is so much, it looks very sharp compared to what we just designed right now. Now that's the advantage of getting my course. My course, I talked about color grading, alright, how to make your design sharp, how to make your design pop, how to add light to your design. Now you can see I made use of so many color grading on this design. Look at the dummy we blended in PicsArt. You are going to see that it's not that sharp as this on my original design. So in this my course, I'm going to show you guys how to do all this. You're going to learn how to do all this. All right, it's in the link in this video description. All right, now one advantage of you getting this course is that you're going to have many options to color grade. You're going to learn how to color grade. Now this is one side of color grading of this design. I'm going to show you guys another, and this is another color grading of this design. I'm going to show you guys another. This is another color grading of this design, this same design, and this is another color grading of this design. So many things you have in stock to learn in this photo editing course that you're going to be learning. All right, so if you are a wise designer, you will take advantage and get this course. All right, so feel free to do so. And also, if you have any issues, probably you want to make payment and you're having issues with purchasing the course, in the course description you're going to see my Gmail account. Do well to send me a mail or send me a message if you have any issue whatsoever. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this tutorial to the end. Don't forget, do well to like and subscribe if you haven't. See you guys in my next tutorial.